Hey guys, what's up? So this is going to be a reading for Capricorn. I'm going to do an overall energy, and then go from there. Okay. So you might be dealing with something from the past that you want to move forward in with a new sense of innocence. You could have reflected on this situation lately, or like over time, and really had to purify the way you thought about this person, situation, thing, job. Could have had something to do in the winter of coming together with this situation and trying to bring some kind of communication in effortlessly, but it being difficult, or it just needing to be focused on getting done. You could have found your faith in this. You could have found God. You could have found your spirituality, or it could have just strengthened it. And helped you to, instead of being so vigilant and so rock hard, as in emotionally, it wanted you to release the need of control or having to be right in this vision that you want to see change and have movement. So you had to release that and start going with the flow of things. Does that make sense? That could have, the releasing could have had something to do with the equinox, autumn equinox, so like last fall. Doesn't have to be. Just something could have happened either in the winter that had something to do with this it's saying don't go back to the way it used to be before the innocence was put into place. It's 3:30 in the morning, guys. I haven't woken up like this in, I was going to say a long time, and then I thought to myself, it's like, no, it's been about a week, a couple days. Okay, now it's weird that I said to stop taking, trying to take control of the situation, because what comes up is Lord, take charge with authority. So that's interesting. I should have taken that. So this situation could have some fear behind it. And like I said, it could have helped you come into your spirituality more, or you're finding your gifts, trusting your instincts and shifting your perception, that made it easier to harness the mystic power within you and enjoy your success and happiness within the situation, or within the situation with this person, and learn how to exchange energy in order to create abundance, either give and take with the person, or with helping see your seeds, your manifestation, the seeds that you've already planted, grow, come to surface. and being fearless and standing strong with authority, taking charge. So you could have like had to have taken charge, as in like maybe the ball was in somebody else's court or another situation, and you had to take charge of your own part, and shifting your perception was something that had to do with it, because if you didn't, it wouldn't have been able to ever come about in a way that you wanted it to, where it felt like the way you wanted it to go wasn't going that way, so you had to shift your perception, because you had like a wobble of, this is what I want, but this is how I think. And when we don't think, why is it like every time I do this, I always have one piercing missing? Anyways, of course it's gonna, no it's not. And it was like, it wasn't matching up with what it was you were trying to manifest. And when we do that, and we wobble between what it is we want and what it is with, you know, the negativity of like, oh, this isn't going to happen, or we're unsure about it, which has to do with taking charge of our authority, which was like maybe the purifying of the innocence of the situation was shifting your perception in order to have a better understanding of not only what it was, but letting go of those doubts, maybe regrets if it had something to do with something going wrong the first time. And that's where the reflection had to come from, because maybe everything was either being blamed on you, or you were blaming everything on them and not seeing it from their point of view, or seeing it from standing in their shoes. And that's what the perception had to change. It's a flow. Not flow. Said go with the flow. Maybe there was resistance in having to have it go somebody's way, either your way, or that could be a shift in the perception that you felt like you had to be in control, or it was going to go out of control. But if you let go, that it would help bring the situation into alignment, right, into synergy with one another, kind of just coming together. This could have something to do with a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. It has the energy behind it of communication. Maybe you have an idea that you didn't run by somebody that has to do with your destiny. Maybe you've been focusing on service and following your higher purpose. Maybe you felt like a lot of this had to fall on you, and you had to learn how to release the weight of the world from your shoulders. From doing that, though, there was a lot of dense energy that was lifted. And it's funny how, well, not funny, but it's cool how there's God. There's God. And then you had invocation ceremony. So this could have helped you to ascend and find, it has lovers. This could have helped you ascend, or it could have triggered an enlightenment that was kind of like a download of like, is it me? Am I not thinking correctly about this? Am I not thinking with love? Kind of like it might have been like a never-ending like story of never feeling like anything was going to get better. And I think that, and again, this could have something to do with a relationship just because we have the lovers. So again, could have something to do with the Gemini. But it says this cosmic union is destined for greatness. if it doesn't have something to do with another person, then it could have to do with you aligning with your higher self, your higher purpose. Align. Your higher self, your higher purpose. Because this could have been a upholding battle. What I mean by that is it felt like it was never going to end. Like it was always like, you know, and I think once you became that devoted warrior of the universe and realize that you are a divine child of the universe, it was easier for you to connect and align with your higher consciousness and maybe even other aspects of yourself. Again, spiritual gifts, spiritual talents, maybe just things, I'm just going to, in the astral realms, like maybe you learned how to astral travel, maybe you learned how to be more intuitive, you know, but with that quest that you went through, it brought this light on this vision that you maybe once had, and you, because of the upheaval battle or whatever, it was always battle. You forgot about it, or you just never believed it was going to happen, or, you know. So after aligning and learning life lessons about this situation or healing work, or anything like that, it was like you went within your shadow for deep spiritual growth and illumination, and you came into you came into the embodiment of your goddess energy, your godlike energy, and were able to surrender to the boundless and creativity, the creative flow of the ocean of abundance, gifts, talents that you once did not know that you had, which at the end of the day is saying, you know, from being fearless and standing strong within the situation and you watching your seeds start to grow, the finale is now here. The fun is now here. The time for celebration, change, dancing, singing, playing with your friends, your family at sunset, you know. After the storm, you emerge a shiny new star, kind of, you know. And what is this? The witchcraft. I attract a steady flow of abundance. Yeah, so there could have been something, again, that you once didn't know how to do, and once you brought it into your awareness or were honest with yourself about what it was you wanted to succeed in, it came easier to you. You could have also stumbled along these gifts for other reasons, and then it kind of just came together and you started using it towards other things, other situations, other creative projects, you know, talents, ways of doing things, you know. Maybe you're used to doing something the same way all the time. Maybe it was a cycle that needed to be broken. Maybe it was a pattern that had been long overdue. You could have had some kind of envy over somebody that made you brought a lot of doubt within yourself, self-doubt, and it had a lot to do with the fact that maybe you felt like this person was stronger or more talented than you, and through that, once you were able to accept the fact that we're all the same, everybody's like the same, but with different challenges, and just because they don't have the same challenges as you, or you don't have the same as you, doesn't mean that they don't have their own, which comes together again with life lessons, I feel. But once accepting challenges are the best way to learn, right? So it was like, maybe you felt like you needed all the answers in order to have success, because that was the only way you felt you could be happy. But then realize that there's no greater goal than to love, which helps us in the long run, being aware of the expansion of our consciousness and awareness, that being happy means that we're on the right path. So what I mean by that is, like, once you were doubting because you were jealous or had envy over this person, and now there's forgiveness of yourself or the situation. Again, it does not have to be a person, but you could have lacked empathy in this situation. Again, you could have blamed something being somebody else's fault, feeling like a victim, like something was being used against you. And this could have something to do with, like, the universe, not even like a person. Having resentment of the universe, of whatever it is that you were trying to have happen. It didn't happen the way that you thought it was supposed to, and the assumptions that you had on it. But again, it's like, maybe you were expecting something different, or were told that if you did something that you were scared of doing and putting yourself out there doing, that it was going to turn out differently. And the only reason why you did it was so things would change, and so that would be what would happen. Plus you were being told to. And, you know, you could have held off on this action for a long time because of worrying, but then came to realize that, you know, not being open to seeing both sides of the situation, and having that resentment blocks the flow of love. If it had something to do with love or love for yourself, that's where the forgiveness could have came, not only for you, for another person, or it doesn't need to be a love relationship. It can be your boss or coworker. I don't remember us saying, if it had to do with, there wasn't gonna come manifestation of love into your life, as in, again, doesn't need to be love romantic. It's just love in general. It could have really left you with this feeling of loneliness, like the universe, God, whatever, didn't care, which also could have something to do with the reason why your spirituality could have grown. Because maybe even though things didn't turn out the way you thought that they were supposed to, or felt like you were told, there was like this gratitude of, okay, well, I learned this through this. What else can I get out of it? And learning how to be more patient with yourself, others, the universe, manifestations, creating, letting your seeds grow. It could have been a long time for this to come about. I'm hearing the word 30, but it could be totally just my energy, because there's something else. Yeah. I kind of lost where I was. Could have came, but maybe, you know, it just came into a phase of being able to let go and let God. So it's easier to, you know, do your own thing, focus on what it is you need to focus on, and just let things kind of come together, which that could be what you were trying to control. It was like you had to stop doubting yourself and come into some kind of, lighter side of things. Like, come into acceptance of, you know, what gives you, maybe you were being some kind of, I mean, Capricorns can be stubborn. I mean, everybody can be stubborn, but they're just known for being that. So maybe there was some kind of stubbornness or of action that needed to be, the needing to be taken, and it needed to be let go. The control needed to be let go. And once that was realized, that was holding back the abundance, the forgiveness as well, that's what was stopping your path, and this manifestation from blossoming, from coming to light, from those seeds, flowers blossom. It was holding them back. There's a lot of threes here, so it could be 333, 333. Okay. So we said that there was life lesson, part of, the cards are, and you could have gone through the shadow work, right? Could have had something to do with trust issues, faith, yep. Trust issues of feeling, trust, of, needing, trust, faith, balance, protection, acceptance. And during this void came all that for you, wisdom, and realizing patience, focusing on what it is you're grateful for in this situation, balancing out your masculine and femininity energies, or maybe you were too much in your masculine. This is a number 42 in numerology. Technically, it would be 6. Technically, in tarot, in real tarot, and traditional tarot, it's for the I didn't realize this, is the Lovers, which again is Gemini. But just the fact that there says balance, it could be all energies of your life. Gemini is 2. They're the twins, right? So it's like you have that feminine, masculine energy. And when we don't feel protected, we do rely more on our survival skills and our authority and all of that, and can go to the extreme of going overboard with our masculinity, to cover up the feeling of loneliness, to cover up, saying, oh, I don't want this, you know what I mean? Like, focus again. I don't want this, like, I can let go of it, and not remembering the beauty that you once saw in it. But once the balancing started happening, and things might have started looking up, or you're going to start noticing things, see, yeah, exactly. Once things started looking up, or you're going to start seeing things look up, that's when you're going to start being able to maybe lean more towards your feminine side, especially as a Capricorn. They're very hardworking, authoritative figure. They're the father of the zodiacs, which also you had the God card. You had faith a lot. I feel like you really realized after a certain point, maybe when you let go of the resentment, and realize how much you once wanted this to the extreme of it, you really started working on yourself, because maybe there was blocks of the trust issues, abandonment issues, when you realize, like, these are holding me back from, like, my true desires, like, I need to do something about it. And maybe that's where the life lessons came in, the healing work came in, stuff like that. So this is, where is it? Oh, there's two surrender. I'm surprised surrender didn't come up. Yeah. Yeah. Surrender. Bottom of the deck, which is usually the most vibrating energy. So, and those are life lesson, the life journey, soul's journey cards, like they're lesson cards. So surrender was, and I saw freedom, regret, and surrender when I just played with them, but surrender was on the bottom. So, in any moment, I can surrender to the powerful presence of love through prayer, contemplation, and stillness. So the reason why I chose this card, I mean, it came up on the bottom, but the reason why I took it and didn't shuffle, excuse me, any of these actually, I found them on the bottom, and I took them because it made sense with your reading as it came out, because, again, we have faith, we had the ceremony, invocation or whatever, and it has, you could have started praying more, contemplating more in stillness during this void of the healing, right? And where you found patience and gratitude of what it was that you once wanted, and the realization that that is what brings you abundance on your path, right? Like that's what opens up the blossoming of the void, is that meditative, wait, is that what I said? I'm just gonna stop there, and I don't remember what I was saying. But anyways, so we have, I surrender to a power greater than me. I'm going to take this, my vibes speak louder than my words, okay? Because we are all energy, right? You could do energy work. You could work with energy, manipulate energy as an alchemy in a positive way, I hope. Here. The presence of love will always cast out fear. I witness the darkness and call in the light with my prayer. Thank you, universe, for guiding me and to perceive this fear through the eyes of the teacher of love. Took this because of the perception. But you might do energy work, or started doing energy work, because maybe the communication, maybe you speak better in energy than you do in words. Again, as a Capricorn, it is hard for them usually to have being able to express their feelings, unless their other birth chart, like placements can also make that so it's easy. I am unapologetic about what I desire and trust that what I focus on will grow. So you have trust, focus, faith, extreme, in beauty. The reason why I picked this one also was at the bottom, and I took it was because at one point I feel like you might have lied to yourself and said you didn't want this anymore, maybe because it wasn't going the way you thought it was, or it wasn't what you were told it was or assumed it was. And you might have really good intuition, and maybe it like messed with your intuition skills and threw you off. And you were like, yeah, no, we're not doing this. Like, I'm not having this situation, like, screw up my crap. Because you could have relied on your intuition a lot. But just because we're told something doesn't mean it's going to come to light right away, right? So it's like, it still could be true, or is true, once, you started doing the healing and found authority within yourself, control within yourself, like as in like not feeling like you had to control the situation, but and not control yourself as in like not letting go and making it like so God had no place. Well, you could have had a time and point where you didn't let God in, and you felt like, just like so many other people, that you had to do everything on your own. You had no other way except for having to rely on yourself. That could have a lot to do with trust issues as well. So that faith that comes in, letting you know that it is okay to let go. It is okay to give birth to new ideas and Yeah, equality. And have fun, you know, with your manifestations and not be so serious about it. That could have been why I said take things from the lighter side of humor. Look at things from the lighter side. I create mindful moments throughout the day, reminding myself that I am love and miracles are natural. Now, I also took it off the bottom. The reason why I did that was because the mindfulness, stillness of your mind, the meditation that you might have just started practicing or used to, and maybe you lost that because of the chaos of the situation that you could have been put into or brought upon yourself. You know, either way, it can be both ways as well. It does not have to be one way or another, but it could have definitely have had some kind of effect on your mental state, your you know, the doubting of your intuition, your healing, your what was I just going to say? You might have had good faith, like strong faith with God, you know. You could have gotten angry with God, the resentment, you know, and you were kind of like, yeah, I'm not going to let something like this do that again, but not realizing that it was your own thing. It wasn't the situation, it wasn't a person, it was, and I don't mean like, oh, it's all your fault, because things affect us to why, love. Oh no, sorry, no. So why we do the things we do, feel the way we feel. Is that passion? Yes. You found your passion. Or maybe this made you passionate at one point and then you lost it because it wasn't going the way you thought it was supposed to. But again, patience comes happiness sometimes. And maybe you didn't want to let go of what it was that this situation or person was or whatever that represented in your life as a manifestation at one point. And once you did, that was when things started manifesting or are going to start manifesting. The more you let go, the more you let God come in and you hold space for the situation of how it is you want it, that's when things will start. You know, just keep visualizing, keep being in that meditative state. Try to be mindful of what's going on around you and your thoughts, because you did have the breach card, which is like going backwards, and it's kind of like saying like, yeah, I was talking about your past because then innocence came up and it was purification. So it was kind of like whatever it was in your past, you were purifying your thoughts of the negative thoughts. And it was coming more into a new beginning, an innocence. Could have had immaturity in it. It could have needed growth within the situation or within yourself or within another person or both of you. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many reasons why some things don't come together right away, but big things and big, you know, blessings are